Good morning, all. Hope everybody's feeling well today.
Good morning.
Good morning. And thank you for participating in this morning's iPad accessibility feature. Want to get an idea of how many of you have limited vision or limited hearing? You can unmute.
The 2,000 lawyers have been preparing this defense strategy to sort of aggressive.
You have a limited vision, limited hearing.
Inquiry. How soon should we expect to move as it relates to that effort?
Look, we can.
Anybody here in the group with limited vision, limited hearing? Nope. Oh, okay. So, well, let's see if it can assist you anyway in utilizing your iPad. So today's session is on vision and hearing impaired. And I'm going to go ahead and read the disclaimer. The Wilderness Technology Alliance DC iPad program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual health, well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on the information in any applications or topics made by the Wilderness Technology Alliance, including, but not limited to, mobile and device applications, any social media pages maintained by the Wilderness Technology Alliance DC iPad Senior Program, its owners or presenters, as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. All right, I see a hand raised. Go ahead, unmute, Doris. Unmute, and you can ask your question. Good morning, Doris.
I have no question. I was just saying that I have visual impairment at times.
You have a what impairment? Vision?
Vision.
Okay, so hopefully that this session can assist you in any way. And if you find a need to make the changes to your iPad to assist you, we can get the help desk to contact you and assist you in configuring your iPad to help you with your limited vision. Okay?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anyone else that has limited vision or hearing? Because this session is designed specially for you. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at, your iPad was designed with the thought or the possibility that users may have limited vision or hearing impairment. Yes, it was designed for that, to keep that in mind. So many of the apps that are stored onto your iPad allows or caters to those with those impairments. When DACL decided what electronic device to get to their seniors, they had in mind this very feature. They wanted to make sure that the iPad offers accessibility features for individuals that have hearing or vision impairment. So one of the features, a very significant one on your iPad, is called Voice Over. Voice Over is a gesture-based screen reader you can use even if you don't see your screen, even if you're unable to see your screen. Voice Over gives you audible descriptions of what's on your screen, from your battery level to who's calling to which app your finger is on. You can also adjust the speaking rate and pitch to suit your needs. And we'll take a look on the iPad once we're finished with the slides and show you how this is done. Now, if you find you still can't configure your iPad for whatever reason for those features, we can get the help desk to contact you and schedule an appointment to call you back and assist you in getting your iPads customized to meet your needs. Okay?
Okay.
Now, when you touch the screen or drag your finger over your screen, VoiceOver speaks the name of the item your finger is on, including the icons and text. To interact with the item, such as a button or a link, or to navigate to another item, you can use VoiceOver gestures. All right, so let's look at a brief video on how VoiceOver is set up.
You guys know how it is when you buy a new Mac. It's super fast at first, and then pretty soon after it starts to slow down. That's probably because you haven't been using Clean My Mac X.
All right.
In this video, we're going to take a look at VoiceOver on the iPad and iPhone. VoiceOver is basically, or it turns your iPad or iPhone basically into a gesture-based screen reader. Anything that I tap when I turn VoiceOver on, the iPad or iPhone will tell me what I tap. Let's see what I mean. Let's go over to my iPad and iPhone. Let's first look at this on my iPad. I'm going to go over to my settings app here. And then what we're going to do is go over to accessibility. Under accessibility, one of the first options we have here is VoiceOver. When I turn this on, what it's going to do, as I mentioned in the introduction, is turn my iPad into a gesture-based screen reader. Anything that I tap, or if I move my cursor over top of anything here, what the iPad will do is it'll tell me what my cursor is on or what I tapped. So as an example, when I turn this on and I move my cursor over top of Zoom here, what the iPad will do is it'll tell me that that is a button for Zoom. And then if I want to open it up, I have to double tap it. That's the basics of VoiceOver. So let's turn it on and see how this works. So I go over and tap on VoiceOver, and then we go over and turn it on. When I turn this on, these controls, or a single control here is going to be highlighted, the one that I am tapping or hovering over. You'll see a black thick line over top of it. Let's go ahead and turn it on. When I move my cursor over top of
vertical speaking rate, speech, button.
Speech, it told me that it was speech and it's a button. If I were to tap on it, I'm using the cursor here, but let's go ahead and tap on a button. Let's go over to wallpaper. I tap on wallpaper.
Wallpaper, button.
It tells me that it is wallpaper and it is a button. And again, it is not opening it up. All it is doing is just telling me what it is. Once I select the right button, I know that I have the right button now because it told me what it was. Maybe I can't see the screen or I can't read it. All I have to do now is just double tap on it. So if I double tap on wallpaper,
Selected,
it now opens
settings,
that up.
heading.
Now I'm going to go to the top where it says choose new wallpaper. I'm just going to tap on it one time. It's going to tell me that that is a button for choosing a new wallpaper.
Choose a new wallpaper, button.
If I want to activate it, what I would have to do is just double tap on it. Let's go and turn it back off. To do that, what I need to do is go back over to accessibility on the left. So I just move my cursor over top of it.
Accessibility, button.
It now told me what button it was. Now I double tap it, 1, 2.
Accessibility, heading.
It opened up.
Can you turn up a little?
And then I go over to VoiceOver here. I'm just going to tap on it. It's going to tell me that it's a button.
VoiceOver, on, button.
And if I want to turn it off, I have to double tap on it. 1, 2.
Voice of accessibility, back button.
And I go over to VoiceOver.
VoiceOver, on. Double tap
and
to
then
toggle
I
setting.
double tap on it.
VoiceOver
It
off.
now turns it off. So you can kind of get an idea of how that works. Basically, when we turn it on, anything that our cursor is over top of or anything that we tap, the first thing the iPad is going to do is tell us what it is. And then if we double tap it, it'll activate it. The iPhone basically works the same way. Let's go over to my iPhone here, and I'm going to go to settings, and then I swipe up until I get to accessibility. Under accessibility, we have VoiceOver, and then I just turn it on. When I turn it on, what it's going to do is tell me what I am tapping. It is not going to activate it. It's only going to tell me. So I'm going to turn it on.
VoiceOver on.
It's telling me that VoiceOver is activated. I want to go to speech. I tap on it.
Speech, button.
It now told me that that was a speech button. If I want to activate it, what I need to do is double tap on it. That's not the one I want to activate. So let's go over to audio. Tap on it.
Audio button.
It is telling me it is a button for audio. I double tap on it.
Sounds and
And
haptics
now I see all
button.
the audio options. I'm going to go back. How do I do that? Well, I tap on voiceover in the upper left-hand corner.
Voiceover back button.
It's telling me that it is a button, so I can double tap on it.
Voiceover audio button.
Now I need to go to voiceover. I tap on it at the top.
Voiceover on.
I
Double
want to
tap
turn
to
it off.
toggle
I
setting.
double tap on it.
Voiceover off.
It turns it off. So that is voiceover on the iPad and iPhone. Now there are a few different options here. I just wanted to give you the basics, but if you did want to change the speaking rate, you could change the speaking rate. You could even change the verbosity. But if you just want to get an overview of how it works and see if it works for you, what I would recommend is just turning it on. Just go over to your settings app, go over to accessibility, and then turn on voiceover. You may want to add this as an accessibility shortcut. Then you can easily turn it on and off.
Okay, so you get the idea of what voiceover does. Is there anybody there here that's not sure how to get voiceover working? You can raise your hand and we can get you. Anybody not sure about voiceover at this point, how to get it up and running? You can raise your hand. I can assist you. Everybody's positive about how to get voiceover turned on in the event that you may need it. Shirley, unmute. Go ahead, Shirley.
Yeah, yes. Mrs. Teresa, what is the purpose of voiceover?
Limited vision. Let's say your vision is really limited, can't really see the screen.
Oh, okay. Now I can see the screen okay.
Okay, so that's what it's for. Those with
Okay.
limited vision. Okay,
Okay, no, I don't need it. Thank you.
you're welcome. Anyone else needing help with turning voiceover on? We can help you. Mary, go ahead and unmute. Mary, unmute.
Okay, I'm my eyes is playing tricks on me, so I got to listen twice to hear how it go into it. Because when I push the button, when I be looking, and sometimes I push the wrong button.
Okay, so, all right. So Mary, do you know where setting is? You know your settings app?
Yeah.
Can you go to setting, hit the home button on your Zoom? You're still in Zoom. So all you're doing is hitting the home button and going to
And then go to settings. Yeah.
Go to settings right now.
Uh-huh.
Then in settings, look for accessibility.
Accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on, eyes, stop playing tricks.
Don't worry, we'll get the voiceover to help you.
Okay. I've seen it on here before.
It's blue and white.
Blue and white.
Mm-hmm.
That's focus, time screen, display brightness. Oh yeah, I see it now.
Tap on it.
Okay.
Now, once you tap on it, look to the right of your screen and see if you see voiceover.
Yeah.
Tap on voiceover. That's your voiceover. Now you can place your hand, tap on any of the features there. It will tell you what button you're on. You can
okay.
Now, and if you want to access it, you double tap on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
Got
you.
it?
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, let's move on now to the next one. We'll lower Mary's hand. So when you go to a new screen, VoiceOver plays the sound, then selects and speaks the name of the first item on the screen, and typically from the top left-hand corner. VoiceOver tells you when the display changes to landscape or portrait or orientation, and when the screen becomes dim or locked, and what's active on the lock screen when you wake the iPad. So VoiceOver does a lot for you. What else? So how do you get VoiceOver going? Like I just went over with Mary. You want to go to settings,
Yes.
then accessibility, then voice over. Okay.
Okay, just turn it on.
Just turn it on. Right. Now there are other gestures that comes with voiceover. There's the it says you can practice voiceover gestures in a special area without affecting your iPad or settings. When you practice a gesture, voiceover describes a gesture and resulting action. So there's certain things you can do with your fingers on your screen, and voiceover will help you. So let's go there now. It says that to learn and practice voice over gestures here, basically is where I just took Mary into voiceover. And when you finish, you can, these are some of the gestures. You can tap, double tap, triple tap, swipe right, swipe left, or up or down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm hearing a TV, so if you can, all right. So if you wanted to adjust the volume on your voiceover, like say the volume is not loud enough, you want it louder, or you want it to go the other way, and lower, you can do so.
All right, so you guys got some cheers for us? Yeah. All right, you guys get in position, and without further ado.
Okay. You can adjust the volume. You can also change the language. If you're not comfortable with if English is a second language and Spanish is your first, you can change the language too.
Oh, okay.
Yep, you can change the language. You can adjust the speaking voice. You can the rate. Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. You can set up voiceover to, basically customized to your desire. All right. Okay, so now that we finished with voiceover, and then we're going to look at another feature, accessibility feature called spoken content. Okay, so let's look at a brief video on that.
Teresa?
A hand raised. I see a hand raised. Let me go back. Yes, Mrs. Duckett, go ahead.
I was trying to get understanding. So when you get ready to put things into your iPad or iPhone, you tell it to turn voiceover off first, and then put in whatever you're going to put in, and then tell them to turn it back on. Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, that I'm not sure what, when you said put things in, you mean install an app? Is that what you're speaking?
Yes, like if you want to install something on your iPad or that kind of thing.
I haven't heard of that having the need to do so. Were you informed of that?
No, that's what I'm asking. Do I have to turn a voice over to enter something on the setting, or do I can just go ahead on and put it in without saying voice over off?
Exactly. At least I didn't learn that you should turn it off first to do so. Nowhere did I learn that.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. So here's another feature. Thank you, Mrs. Duckett. That was a very good question. So let's go back here. So basically, what we're going to look at is how to have your iPad or read text to you. So let's go to that video right now.
With spoken content, your iPhone or iPad can read text out loud, and you can customize settings like the speaking rate, pronunciations, and more. Here's how to set it up and use it. We'll walk you through how to use Speak Selection, how to use Speak Screen with the speech controller, and how to customize your spoken content settings. To turn on Speak Selection, in Settings, tap Accessibility. Tap Spoken Content, and then tap to turn on Speak Selection. Here's how it works in action. Your device will read aloud text you select in compatible apps like Notes, Mail, Books, Safari, and more. Just select the text you want your device to read, and menu options will appear. Tap the arrow on the right until Speak appears. And then tap it to hear your selected text aloud.
Ingredients: 2 tablespoons sourdough starter, 600 grams flour divided, 10 grams salt, water.
Your iPhone or iPad can also speak the entire screen, and you can display the speech controller to quickly access controls like speech playback, the speaking rate, and more. To do this, tap to turn on Speak Screen in the spoken content settings. When it's on, you can swipe down from the top of your screen with 2 fingers to read, or you can ask Siri to read the screen. For quick access to the Speak Screen controls, tap Speech Controller, then turn on Show Controller. The first time the Speech Controller appears, it will be in the upper left corner. You can drag it with your finger to move it. To display the controls, tap the controller arrow. To hear all text on the screen, tap the play button.
From Grandma, address 2, Magico Martinez, 7:14 a.m. Has attachment. Starting with sourdough.
You can also pause Speak Screen,
I love that you're making my sourdough recipe.
skip ahead, skip backward, and change the speaking rate. The Speak on Touch button, which looks like a pointing finger, will let your device start speaking from a line you choose. Tap it, and tap or drag anywhere on the screen to hear the text under your finger.
We can't always get together and make a loaf if you want a lesson in person. You can't have too much bread, in my opinion. Plus, I'd love to have a visit.
You can also customize how you use spoken content in the spoken content settings. Highlight content appears after you turn on Speak Selection. This highlights words, sentences, or both as they're read. When you use typing feedback, your iPhone or iPad can speak each character, entire words, auto corrections, auto capitalizations, and typing predictions. Voices lets you choose different languages or accents to download. Detect Languages, which is on by default, will automatically detect the language it's reading so that your device can read other compatible languages in a more natural way. And you can change the default language, which adds an extra option for that language when you tap the Speak button. To change the speaking rate, drag the slider. And you can tap Pronunciations to customize tricky words like location names. And that's spoken content. Select, Speak. Super. To learn more about...
Isn't that great that you can actually have the iPad read for you? Now, I did see a question from Angela saying, can VoiceOver read a book or an email? It would be spoken content, not VoiceOver in this case. Okay, Angela? And it will be, as you shown in the video you just watched, it will read an email for you. Now, as far as a book, it depends on the actual, if it's a digital book and the features allows for spoken content, yes. But not all digital books are created to do so. So it depends on the actual book, digital book. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Angela. All right, any other questions on the spoken content? Anybody have any questions? So if you got an email and you want spoken content to read that email for you, it will do so. Okay. All right, so waking the iPad up. One of the things you can do, okay, let me mute this person. All right, so gently touch the screen of the iPad when it's in sleep mode to wake up the device. The lock screen would show up to let you read notifications, change the song, etc., and the track. Okay. Then there's a feature called pop up the app dock. If you're working on a web page or an email and need to access another app, first you'll need to get the app dock. That's a feature. It says, place any one finger on the top of the screen and swipe up slowly as you perform the gesture on the iPad. The app dock will pop up almost instantly. So there's a feature called App Dock on your iPad that allows you to dock things and still, as you said, you could be in a web page and reading your email at the same time. All right, so if you wanted to go to your home screen, which I think most of you know, you're in Zoom and we want to go to your home page. Basically, what do? You just tap on that home button, right? Right, it says now you want to go back to the home page, but without a dedicated home button. That's if you're not using the home button. You must rely on an iPad finger gesture. All right.
Oh, like them gestures we seen up there with the finger, different ways to go. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you need to go through current app notifications on your iPad swipe gestures can help you with it. So there's a lot of things you can do with your fingers when it comes to the accessibility feature, where if you can't see, but your fingers can work for you. Here's another one, finding the control center. Anybody here not aware how to get your control center up and visible? You're not. I can show you right now. Not aware of how to get your control center up?
I think I would need help.
Okay, so
Teresa, I think I would need help with that.
Okay, so what I want you to do, Ms. Duckett, is to, of course, you're in Zoom right now, so you want to click your home button. So your home
Push
screen.
the home button.
Click the home button, and then take your finger and swipe the upper right-hand corner of your iPad all the way down. And your control center should be visible at that point.
Okay.
Tell me the thing at the bottom.
I see what you're saying.
Okay. And that's where you can control some features from your iPad without having to go into settings. That's what your control center does for you. Now, somebody else had a question. I heard someone else in the background. Go ahead if you have a question. Was that you, Mary? You needed help?
No, I went when she went and I found out.
Okay, so you found it. Anyone else needing a question on how to locate your control center on your iPad? That's the shortcut to settings.
Okay, the shortcut. Let me write this down.
Shortcut to settings. That's what it is. And it's used for many things. We do cover that in the modules. I think it's covered in module 2. All right. All right. So let's see what else. All right. Let's look at some useful multitasking iPad gestures. So when we think of multitasking, is basically you'll see a scroll bar at the bottom of the screen when there are multiple apps open in the back. Let's see. For example, if you wanted to have a split screen, create a split screen. Anybody knows how to do that? Very simple. You can open 2 apps simultaneously, and each app will occupy equal space on the screen. This is split screen, split view for apps on iPad. To activate it, I could tell you how to do that. Anybody needs help on how to have a split screen right now?
Yes.
All right, so again, hit your home button.
Okay.
And look at the very top of your iPad. You see 3 tiny dots?
3 tiny dots.
3 tiny dots. Go ahead, I find it. Okay. All right. Here's another one here. If you want to take quick notes, you could swipe your finger from the right corner and you'll see a small screen for the Apple Note app. This iPad swipe gesture will depend on the selection you've made earlier. So to get this going, you would have to go into settings and go into what is called gestures and then corner gestures. That's another feature.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
All
there
right.
it is.
All right, so I've got one. Let me go now. I'm going to another set of slides now that I want to go over with you all. Let me go there now.
Oh, she went over there with that slide. Okay.
Let me get those slides going. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please let me know.
Firewall.
Hold on, let me go. Wouldn't allow me to. Okay. I'm going to go to another set of slides that I created, but it wouldn't allow me to go anywhere. So, all right, we'll go. Let me stop sharing for a little bit and then, because it wouldn't allow me to move on. Okay, so. Firewalls. Give me 1 second and I'll. Okay. Any of you heard of what is called assistive touch? When you turn on assistive touch, you see a button that appears on your screen. You can drag the button to the edge of the screen where it stays until you move it again. By default, tapping the button once opens assistive touch menu. As if tapping once anywhere outside of the screen menu closes the assist. So let's find out, what is this assistive touch? Let's find out. All right. You can use assistive touch to basically control menus that require on-screen touch gestures like the control center, notifications, spotlight, home, app switcher, and speak screen. Let me, wait a minute. Hold on. I think I apologize. I jumped ahead. No wonder it wasn't reading right. So we're going to look at now how to use dictation and how to edit with voice control on your iPad. That's where we're going. How to use dictation and edit text with voice control on your iPad. So earlier we talked about voice over. Now we're going to look at actual voice control and dictation. So Apple introduced what is known as an all-new dictation experience on the iPad, and yours is included for the iOS 16. You can now fluidly move between dictating your voice and using the keyboard. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I tried doing this and I wasn't successful. I did check my iPad since then, and it's supposed to be working again. Some of you So it says dictating, the iPad will listen to you and dictate what you are saying. Dictate would also add punctuation automatically, and you can add emojis for just by speaking them. You can also dictate directly in the message app. So you have a message app, you want to dictate a message, you can do so. Okay. And that is done by using, once you go into your message app as shown here, right? It's shown here. That's a message app. Once you're in there, you will then, of course, select to have create a new message. And once you decided to create that new message, the keyboard will pop up and you want to look for an icon that looks like this in your keyboard.
Oh,
The
the
icon that
mic.
looks like a mic. It looks like a mic. That's what you're looking for. Once you've found that mic, this is what it looks like. You tap that on and the start talking and the message will be created. And we're going to test that in a little while. But let me show a short video on how to, all right, so how that is done. Let's see. Okay, so here's a better picture right here. Once you're in, you look for the mic in that little window, you tap on that. And then whatever you say from beyond will start actually showing up in the message. So you have to be careful. It's happened to me where I left it on and I'm talking to someone else on the phone. And guess what? Everything that I say on the phone is in that message. So be very careful. It has happened to me. It will put in punctuations for you, symbols and signs. Yes, it will even put in emojis. So let's learn about that right now. Okay, so where is my, why isn't it playing? Hold on, let me find the link for that. It should be playing. Yes, Siri, hold on. Okay, I will find that in a little bit. It should be right here. Nope. Okay. What I'm going to do at this point is, do we have any questions on dictating? We're going to go now. I'm going to go to the iPad and begin to show you how to set up your dictation. Or you can test it yourself, okay? On your iPad. So I'm going to stop sharing on this screen at this point. And we're going to go start sharing on my other device. I'm going to go to Zoom and share screen. Okay. And now I'm going to go to the message app. Hold on. All right. So I'm in my message app right now, and I want to create a new message by dictation. So I'm going to look, notice where I tapped at the very top, where you see that pencil in a box, you tap on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'm finding out here though, is that the mic itself, the icon is not visible. And I now figured out why. When I'm in Zoom, it is not functional. When I'm out of Zoom, it is functional. Do you hear what I'm saying? So while you're in Zoom, if you could see, it's grayed out. But to make sure that it's turned on, the first thing we want to do is to basically go to settings. In settings, right? I'm in my settings. I now want to wait. I want to type in a dictation. Enable dictation. Do you see that in settings? You tap on that. And now I'm going to drop my keyboard so you can see all the different features you can enable dictation to do. First thing I want to do is turn it on my keyboard so that it's on English in my keyboard. I have English selected. And then if I want and anything else, checks all this stuff. Down here now, you see here dictation enabled, auto punctuation enabled. So it will, whatever, if I'm dictating a sentence or a paragraph, punctuation will be automatically done as I read or dictate my message. That's turned on. If I wanted an emoji in that message, I also have that turned on. Okay. So basically that's how you get. Now, are you going to be able to do it right now? I'm going to tell you it will not work right now while you're in Zoom because the mic is being used for Zoom. So your dictation for a message is not available while you're in Zoom. In other words, it's not a multitasker. You only can do one thing. Your microphone can only work in one place at one app at a time. Any questions on the dictation? None whatsoever? No questions asked on the dictation feature? There must be somebody who's not.
I just found out that what you just said, so I couldn't ask any questions because I don't know whether it works or not. Okay.
Right. But I can tell you what you could do to want to make sure it works. You can drop out of Zoom. That's if you care to right now, and then go to your message app. Well, first go to settings, turn on your dictation, enable it, then try to dictate a message, and then let me know if it's working, and it should work because I tested it on my iPad. And then you can always come back in Zoom. That's if you want to. If you want to be absolutely sure, I'll leave that up to you.
I think I'll wait because I had problems getting back in. I got kicked out, so I had problems getting back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so.
All right, Amir, I see your hand is up. Mary, I see your hand is up. All right, so let's now, while we're in settings, let's look for that icon that says accessibility.
Okay, I'm in. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you see on my screen right now where it says, I'm going to tap on it. That's the accessibility button that we spoke about earlier to get the voiceover turned on.
Yeah.
I'm going to tap on that.
Okay.
To my right, notice my voiceover is off. I can turn it on. And now my voiceover, I now tap on that and my voiceover is now on. Did you hear it? It just read to me what exactly is on my screen. I'm going to tap again. Okay. Listen to that. Okay. All right. All right. So why is it your voiceover gestures? Control, press the home button to. Okay. So now I'm going to touch on another, and it's going to read it to me. Speech. I have Samantha. I chose Samantha. You could choose Agnes. You can choose whomever as your voice over. They're all different names. It's up to you what voice you would like. That's for your speech. Now, if the pitch is too high, you can lower your pitch or you can increase your pitch. Okay. Now, if you wanted to add a new language, here it is. You can add, look at the selection you can add. Danish. Okay. It's up to you. Add. So various types of here, as you can see. All right, that's the speech part.
Mhm.
Now, if I wanted to go down a little further now, let's say I wanted to here. These are all my quick settings, allows you to access voiceover settings at any time. Anytime. So here it is here. Okay. Any questions while we're in voiceover? Anybody have any questions on voiceover?
No.
No? This is your speak and raise right here. You can lower it, increase it. I'm going to turn it back on so you can see what I mean. See how slow that was?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mhm.
slow. Okay. Now if I wanted see slow.
It's real low.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
hot.
So that's it for voiceover. If they're all here, and if you need help setting this up for you, you can call the help desk or let me know, and I can have the help desk call you to set it up. The other area I wanted you to look at is Siri also works. Siri, you can have Siri help you as well. Okay. Now I'm in Siri now, as you can see. Siri now will speak to any of these apps right here. You can ask Siri to do anything in these apps.
Very much. I mean,
I'm in Siri. Siri can help you do anything in these apps. Okay. Now, in wallpaper, you can choose your wallpaper.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else in this area? This is your chance to learn about what's in settings as far as accessibility. Now, here's another feature that you might be interested in. You're not able to see your text well. You can bold your text size. You can bolder. Notice it became bold on your iPad. You can dim it. You can make it lighter. Notice it's getting darker and lighter. It's up to you. You can turn the night shift on where at night the screen goes less, goes look in that direction or direction. I don't know if you actually can see it as I move it. What else you need to know? As far as your font size, if the fonts are too small, you can increase your fonts. Look how big that is. Is that visible?
I don't know.
Are you able to see my screen, or is it stuck? I don't think it's being shown. Hold on. Let me try. Hold on.
Change screens on.
Yes, I can see your screen.
When I move things around?
No.
Well,
I didn't
okay.
think so. I didn't think so.
I
Let
can
me
see it.
reshare. I'm going to reshare again. I wasn't seeing that. Okay.
I wish whoever has that television on would stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Or having a conversation, whatever they're doing.
It's not sharing yet. Still not sharing.
No,
Okay.
can't
Try
see you.
again. Yeah, let me try again. Yeah. I'm going back into Zoom. I'm going to share screen. Select that. Share broadcast. Okay, the sharing. Now I think it's share. All right, so now we're going to go there. Now we're going to go back into settings. Okay. Notice my
Okay.
text, how large it is.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
get your text that size. Simple. All you need to do.
Good.
If I can't read that, I need to get an operation.
Uh-huh. Some people's vision are limited, but you can make it smaller, really small. You can make it larger if it helps, especially for, I think, Mary, you said you have limited vision.
Yeah.
So you can
That's
increase.
good. I can see that.
Oh, yeah.
That's you can.
Yeah. So that's how you can increase your text display so you can read better on your iPad. Okay.
I usually have a magnifying glass thing with me when I be so I can make sure I can see it good.
Mm-hmm. But you don't need now, right?
Uh-uh.
I didn't know about this feature. So we'll here's something else that you might want to. Do you want to auto lock your
phone?
Okay, you can lock it after how many minutes? If you have others in the home that you
yeah,
you can do that in this area.
I like that one.
I don't need that because I don't think the cat that smart.
Well, anyway, so that's how you can display your. Now I'm going to try to reset it back now to my and then move on to another subject because this is a little bit. I can't see my full screen anymore. If you realize that.
Okay, yeah, I could tell you missing a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So, now what if no, I couldn't find that. Now here's my opportunity now to go into to change my notice I hit the control button to get the control center going. I can tap anywhere on here. Oh, it didn't show. It's not showing. It's not showing. All right. That explains.
What? Yeah, I mean.
Okay, let me see if I can get this person. Somebody's on a phone. Okay. Any questions on this section before I get out of here? Because I'm trying to get out now. I got myself in a mess here. I'm trying to get out. It is.
Mr. Reese, I want to tell you something funny.
Go ahead.
I've learned how to make FaceTime call. So I had made a FaceTime call and I left the computer and I heard my niece answer the telephone and I was saying, I heard the phone ringing, but I thought it was my cell phone. Anyhow, the cat had pushed the button and the cat had dialed FaceTime.
The cat.
That's the cat. So the cat is here learning how to use the iPad.
Oh no.
You got to give it to the cat. All right.
That's a smart cat.
But it was so funny. I didn't think that she walking, touching it or whatever would dial that number. It was so funny.
Yeah.
We had a big laugh over that the other day.
That's funny.
Miss Teresa,
Go ahead, I'm here.
I'd like to know, what were you just explaining about locking something? I didn't catch that.
You can lock you can actually, I don't know if you're aware that you can actually secure your iPad by setting up a what is called touch and ID passcode as shown on my screen.
Yeah, I know about that, but I just didn't catch what you were saying about locking.
Oh, I was saying you can set it that it can lock after 2 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever time. If you
lock what?
Your phone, your iPad.
Yeah, you let's say you're using your iPad and you walked away from it. How long before it's left open is how you can set. If you want it to lock 2 minutes after you stop using it or 15 minutes, it's up to you. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You can lock it so nobody else can use it. If you happen to misplace it, they have to find out how to get in it.
Right. So to lock it, begin locking, you touch ID and passcode, you have to go into this area right here to
Oh
show
no.
and do that. It's up to you. I wouldn't recommend it.
So to unlock, I would have to put in my password again.
Yeah,
to
each
use
time
it.
you start using it after it locks, you're gonna have to enter your passcode or use your finger. See where you see that red fingerprint? That's
I was
what you
able
have
to
use.
mute my computer.
To unlock
my
it.
Computer can
Okay.
That's what
hear
you would have.
everything that goes on.
Who's that?
I'm gonna mute that. I've just muted them. Okay. So that's how if you want to set up your iPad for locking, that's how you go ahead. You turn on the passcode, you add a fingerprint, all these things you can do. Okay.
If you're gonna lock it, add the fingerprint. Don't lock it with a code.
But if you lock it with your fingerprint, only you and you alone can open it.
Yeah.
Only
don't
you.
use a code. You might forget the code.
Yep. But sometimes your finger may not work either.
I know.
Then don't lock it at all. Just leave it unlocked.
Just leave it unlocked. That's what I recommend.
I don't lock mine.
That's what I recommend. Leave it unlocked.
It's too much to remember.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's too much. Too much stuff.
And every day something new come, you have to put in a passcode. Lord help us.
Yeah.
Use the same password code.
All right. While we're in settings, do you have any questions here while I'm in settings here?
About Safari. Sometimes when I push my Safari, do I have to, when she pops up the first time, when you click on the phone and she comes on, do you have to click every time that you say something to her?
You mean Siri? Siri?
Yes, Siri.
Yes, there's two ways you can have, let's go to Siri. You can have Siri turned on either with your home button or, hold on, let me find Siri right now. Or you can just talk to it. There, you can choose which way you want Siri to be activated. That's what you're asking about, right?
I might have done something that I have to press the button to get her to come on, because when I put on my home page, she pops up, and sometimes I forget she's there, and I'm talking to somebody about something that's on the iPad, and she starts talking and scares people because she's she's repeating what you're saying. So I was trying to figure out if I did something wrong.
So here's Siri here. I'm showing her right now. And so Siri's always listening. As you can hear, listen to Siri. It's up to you how you want her to be activated.
Okay.
Okay, you can select how you want her. And also, how do you want Siri to communicate with the various apps Siri is designed to do? For example, you can go to Siri and say, Siri, can you look in my contacts and tell me the telephone number for my sister Susie or whomever? Siri will. Siri, these are all the apps here that Siri has been created to communicate on behalf of you. You can say, Siri, send a message to, you could either give her a phone number or you have to contact to your mother or your sister, whomever. Okay. Now notice here it says allow Siri when locked. That was your question. Okay. You can make that choice, Anne.
Okay.
On that and say, do I want, when my iPad is locked, do I want to, walk away from it? Do I want Siri still to be listening to me?
Okay.
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 Any more questions on this area? As we get into that.
Thank you so much, Miss Teresa.
Wrapping up.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Diane.
Does Siri talk when you don't expect it to talk? By that I mean say something. We're talking now, and Siri can interrupt us and say something I said an hour ago.
Siri's not designed to do that now. I'm not going to say it's never happened because if I say Siri, she'll begin listening. That's what she's designed to do.
Okay.
The thing should show up. Now, I'm not going to speak on the other side. Maybe she isn't.
Okay. Can I say one
Let me
more
tell you
thing?
what I've learned about Siri.
Okay, can I say one more thing to
Sure.
Bertha Foster? Would you look at your chat and take my telephone number, please?
Oh, you're talking to someone in the group?
Yes, all my people, I don't have their phone numbers.
Oh, for your senior bowl.
Yeah, Bertha Foster is her name.
Bertha, did you hear that message from Diane?
She was on. I don't know whether she left or not.
All right,
Yeah,
so
she's
we're
still on her.
right.
Teresa.
Go ahead, Mrs. Duckett.
Teresa.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sometimes Siri will talk when you I'll give you an example. I have sent message and Siri will put the, like if I send it from my iPad, it'll put it on my if I send it from my iPhone, it'll put it on my iPad, and it scares me.
It will. Is that what you're saying, Mrs. Duncan?
Yes, ma'am.
Because they're synced together. Your iPhone and iPad are sharing or synced together on the iPad.
Right.
Okay, guys. Well, it's come to the end of the morning session. It was really wonderful having you participate in this morning's class.